Good morning. You know, every life has been touched by addiction in some way, shape, or form, and we just love when Greg Hannley, Alex Trujillo, and Daniel Baldwin with Sober Recovery make some time and stop by the studios to address a lot of the issues that are going on right now throughout our country. But thank y'all for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's always good to see you, and we have to start the segment off with a huge congratulations to Greg because his autobiography, The Forgotten Ones, was just out yesterday.
Yep.
It was released.
Yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to read this. He's already promised me that I can have this copy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is very special to you, very big. This is your life story, Greg. Why did you decide to write it?
You know, opportunities come, and I tell a lot of stories. There's a lot of things that happen in my life that people seem to be interested in. And I was lucky enough to meet Caleb Alexander through Alex, and I was telling him a story, and he's a New York Times best-selling author, and he said, I want to write your book. Wow. So there's lions and
Caleb
dialogues
does writing. Caleb does writing at the treatment center. So he
Really?
does.
Okay.
Yeah, he does creative writing there, and he's sitting there, and Greg's telling one of his amazing stories that he
And he's
has
like, I
so
want to
many
tell
of.
this story.
No,
I want to write this.
So an hour later, after Caleb finally meets Greg, and he hears one story about one of the ranch stories, maybe about the tiger or about Warren Jeffs or whatever it is that's in there. Within an hour, Caleb goes, hey, Greg, I just emailed you something. Take a look. And he had emailed him in a matter of an hour. He wrote like 15 pages that we were all blown away.
So you I mean, this covers everything.
Yeah, it covers.
Childhood up until where we are now.
Yeah, it goes through my whole life, and it's a redemption book. Yeah,
And
it can be there's some rough parts in it.
I was going to ask you if that was difficult to go back and really relive all of those moments in your life, the moments that really define you, right?
Yeah, it was. I get choked up about it. There's going through what I went through is there's some dark moments, but there's some lighthearted things. But Daniel and I went to South Carolina this week, and we worked with a group of policemen and hospitals and mayors that are getting Narcan people, and we brought a girl back with us from there that was in trouble, and I gave her the book on the airplane, and she read the whole thing, and it's interesting to watch people look at me and go, did that really happen?
Is that real?
Yeah.
That's an autobiography?
You know, one of the things, and he will never toot his own horn or whatever, so sometimes I have to gently remind him that it's okay to say what it is. We didn't just bring a girl back with a plan to. We went there to let people know that are really in trouble, and this girl was sitting there with her mother because the mother wanted to bring a girl who was walking the streets prostituting the night before. And Greg looked at her, and we looked at each other while the speaker was up there, and I went, girl's in bad shape. And he goes, yeah, I can't keep my eyes off her. And then finally Greg just went, hey, in front of everyone, chiefs of police, law enforcement, government officials, do you want to come with me? They have no insurance, they have no money, they couldn't buy the plane ticket. This book is exactly an example of that. When the discussion came from Caleb about you really should write a book, how many of us who have had these kind of problems would ever put themselves on a line and tell another addict or a parent what it was really like before he became the guy sitting next to you? Because the picture, as you can know from me being the public eye, wasn't pretty. And he goes right out there and says, this is what it was, this is what you can become. And so, you know, I mean, what it is a gift. It's a gift because he puts himself in a situation where people could judge who he was before, which we all do, which is why we're quiet. He didn't care. He didn't care. He thought, you know what, if I write this book, and the bottom line, what he said to me was, I believe I can help some people by writing the book. I don't know what more you need to say than that.
And I know, Greg, even if it meant he was just helping one person, he would do it to help one person.
Yeah.
This is honestly one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever met. And I love that you're here every month and that you bless us with your stories and with everything that you do. I know you said you read it, Daniel. Were there things in here you didn't know about?
Daniel's in
Greg?
there.
Well, of course he is. Were there things in here that surprised you that you didn't know?
No, I just was, I'm one of the people that he helped save.
Yeah.
So,
So it means a lot to you too.
yeah, a lot.
So people can get the book, right? They can just go to Amazon or anywhere books are sold and they can get it. I cannot wait to dive in. I'm going to start reading it tonight. But congratulations again, Greg, and thank you for writing that.
Thank you.
It's really, really wonderful. Okay, well, you know what? We'll just end on that note. And we'll talk some trending topics when we come back after the break.
No one is perfect. We all have our inner struggles. It may be alcohol, drug, or any type of addiction. Soba Recovery Center is here to offer free help. You can get the help and free information by calling right now from the privacy of your own home. Don't let alcohol, drug, or any addiction ruin your life. If you or a loved one have alcohol, drug, or any addiction, get help by calling right now. Soba Recovery Center. Most private insurance accepted.
Welcome back, and we are back with Greg, Alex, and Daniel with Soba Recovery, and just going over some topics that are trending right now, some things that people are talking about, and we were just discussing during the break, which is Narcan, which is a drug that helps halt the effects of overdoses, right? And so in New Jersey alone, they've used it over 18,000 times
In the
to
last
save
2
people.
years.
Right, just in the last, since 2014. And what do you say about that? I mean, obviously it's a good thing. It saves lives, right?
But think about it, 18,000 times people overdose just in New Jersey. That the police, the ambulance, somebody showed up and there's a kid there that is going to die. And now all the police and first responders have Narcan on them because it's such an epidemic. So figure you multiply that by 50 states. New Jersey isn't like something
That
special.
means 9 out of 10 911 calls they're getting are for opiate overdoses.
So if you could save that many lives just in New Jersey alone, imagine.
Well, that's what we're doing. So they had in New Jersey, the first hospital that we created a program, or my partners at College Recovery, where when they Narcan somebody, we get a response from the police department, and we send somebody, pro to the hospital, and they go meet the person at the emergency room, because out of 200 at one hospital, only 2 people went to treatment after. So that now we have 70% of those that we get placed in treatment when they wake up from their overdose. So that's what we're doing in South Carolina, is setting up that program in South Carolina, because they don't know what to do. So now you have all of these overdoses, they're at the hospital, they pop up, and they walk out the door and do it again. And so there has been police that we've talked to that went to the same house and used Narcan 3 times in one day.
Put that in perspective for a second, so everyone listening can listen to this. If 9,000 fires were to erupt in 1 year in the city of San Antonio, do you think that would get your attention?
I think it would.
If 9,000 bullets were fired to defend people by the police, do you think that would get your attention? 9,000 times a year for 2 years, just in the state of New Jersey, they've responded by taking a big needle and
18,000.
18,000 in 2 years. 9,000.
Oh, that was 2 years. Oh, okay.
Take a needle and slam it into the chest of the person and shoot them with something, because they're about to die.
Right.
I mean, if this isn't the definition of epidemic, I don't know what is.
Well, that's the other thing. So I was saying this is wonderful because we have this and it can save lives, but let's talk about how we ended up in this predicament where 18,000 people in 2 years overdosed.
Well, it was the promotion of OxyContin. And it was 8 years ago, it was the most marketed prescription drug of all time. And and I don't know if we talked about this, but I was watching the show on OxyContin, and they had the 12 people that were promoting the drug when it first came out, and they're going, this is the greatest thing ever, and my life has changed. I don't have pain. I'm great, good to go. Out of the 12, I think it's 8 years later, 7 of them are dead. And the one lady that they're interviewing said the only reason she could get off it was after she lost her job, her house, her everything, and her health insurance. She couldn't get it anymore.
She had no choice.
Yeah,
And now
so
she's on heroin. So
yeah.
And that's the next step. And you always talk about the steps that lead up to heroin.
Yeah, it starts with a pill.
somewhere.
It starts with a pill, and probably, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of the people I talk to that end up as an addict, addicted to an opiate, they all start with a pill. And here in San Antonio, I've had conversations with kids that are from way out in the middle of somewhere, and they were a baseball pitcher on their way to college, doing wonderful, and they got an injury, and they went to the doctor and were prescribed so many Vicodin that they got addicted, and then became a heroin addict, and just ruins their life.
Well,
and it's
I
not
saw
their
you
fault.
guys did a story this week about a doctor's office on the west side of San Antonio that was writing prescriptions without ever even having to see a patient, ever. They were just handing out prescriptions.
When you see those types of stories, what's going through your mind when you see stories like that?
Well, somebody needs to be accountable, and they need to put something in place. There's something in place that doctors don't overprescribe. The amount of opiates that are prescribed in the United States in 1 year are enough to put a bottle of painkillers, addictive painkillers, in every single person's hand in the country, men, women, and children, all of them. And they, to prescribe somebody 240 pills at a time, or 120 pills, and not give them proper precautions. We use more opiate-based painkillers than the entire world combined. Our country
scary.
does. And so we have an epidemic, and it's a contagious epidemic. These kids that are getting in trouble aren't just picking it up. They're getting it from somebody else, and it is from mom and dad's or grandma's medicine chest or whatever it is. Daniel was talking about, weren't they trying to prescribe your daughter or somebody?
Yes, really? An 8-year-old.
You're kidding
From
me.
a bad tooth. Listen, if there's, let's use an example of the electrician comes to your house and you've got a problem, and you're paying this guy because you trust.
course,
You don't
he's
know
the
how to do it.
expert.
He's a guy who's certified and licensed, and he comes in your house. Now, if something goes wrong with electricity or something starts sparking in the wall, he's got to come back and do it right to code and everything else. These doctors, when you go in and take your kid because he's really banged up from a football injury, he needs surgery on his knee. He gets the surgery done, and they hand him 120 painkillers for a 17-year-old. He doesn't take them thinking, oh, I'm going to get addicted. He's not even told. The doctor doesn't sit with the parents and say, listen, only when he really needs these, and here's 8.
And maybe parents, you need to hold these.
Yeah,
Right.
and if
Put
you
them
need
away.
more, call us.
Right.
But,
Right.
but
That's the
it's
thing.
kind of like this. So you have the drug company created the epidemic, then it becomes national world news. Then they sell the Narcan to keep the overdoses alive, and now their solution is to sell the entire country a medication for long-term medicated assisted recovery, which is, we're in the movie. We're in the movie and they should be held responsible, and they should pay for treatment for this country. And it should be billions of dollars, not
Agreed.
millions of dollars.
All right, well, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have several viewer questions, things that people would like y'all to answer, and we can do that in just a few minutes. And welcome back. We are still with Soba Recovery. We have got Greg, Alex, and Daniel, and we have several viewer questions we want to get to. And this one actually just came in on our Facebook page. It's from Virginia Gutierrez, and she said, my ex is looking really bad. I know he's on some kind of drug. Even though we are not together, I worry about him. What should I do? That would be difficult if you were worried and someone was halfway across the country or you couldn't physically see them.
Well, tell them.
Start a conversation.
Yeah, let them know you're worried. And, Starting the conversation, it's a hard thing, but it's an emergency. So if somebody has a gun to their head, you're going to say something. You're not going to just sit there and watch them pull the trigger. And as difficult as it is, if you don't have a conversation, you may have to live the rest of your life regretting you didn't. It's better to have a conversation and have somebody be upset at you than to not have said anything at all. And you must speak up and keep trying and let people who are close to this person know that you're worried. And so, and with me, how it got me to treatment is everybody kept bugging me. They kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me and showing up and bugging me because I wasn't having it. And then finally one day I go, if I go in and just go in for an evaluation, will you just leave me alone? And they go, yeah, just go for an evaluation. And the minute I sat in the treatment center, it was like this weight was off of me, and I go, finally it's over.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so don't give up and say something.
It's like, I love you enough to let you hate me. If it's gonna save your life,
Totally.
then I'm okay with that. And also we have Margaret, who sent this question in on Facebook. She says, I have a friend who is going through alcohol abuse and no insurance. I don't know who to contact. Please help. Where does she begin?
Well, it is open enrollment right now, so good places to see if you can get on an Obamacare or some kind of policy. And doesn't matter where you go get treatment. You know, there's different facilities that take different kinds of insurance, but if you do have some kind of health insurance, even if it's Obamacare, you can find a place to go.
Well, and they can call us. So some people that need in right away and have no resources, we can help direct them to where they can get some help.
There are facilities who do that.
Yeah, there's like Alpha Home here, and what's
Our
the-
friend
several
Pat
options.
has some good.
Yeah, there's multiple places that, and a lot of times, if we call and ask, they'll.
If it's coming from you.
Yeah, they'll, and we're happy to help out, and that's what we do is give information. So sometimes we can get people in, and sometimes we help them get to where they need to go.
All right, so just give them a call then at Soba Recovery, or Soba Texas. The number is there on your screen. And then finally, this is our last question. It says, I'm a college student with a job and everything, yet I feel so empty inside. I started drinking at bars every weekend until I'm drunk. I don't remember anything the next morning. Everyone thinks I'm just having a good time, but I know it's a problem. I'm scared to tell my family. How can I get help?
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a call.
I can even tell somebody how to tell their family.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like this. Most people, it's kind of interesting. People think people don't know, and they know. And they're afraid to say something. After a while, I asked my family, why didn't any of you say something? They go, yeah, we all knew you were on drugs. And I go, why didn't somebody say something?
But,
you know?
but you're thinking, nobody knows anything. I'm sneaky as can be. I'm acting like myself.
Well, this is no different than, you revert back to those types of things from your childhood. And so there's the older brother standing next to the younger brother going, no, it's okay, just jump in the water. Go, it's okay. And then you take them by the hand, and you both jump in the water together. So when they call, well, not only that, but many times I've seen Greg actually get on the phone with the kid and three-way him with the parent or whatever.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is this, you're not telling your mom or dad that I'm bad. I'm sick.
They love you.
I'm sick, and I need some help. Immediately, they're going to do what parents do and go, let's find you some help.
Yeah. What do we need to do?
Yeah, it's okay to talk to your parents if you're scared. It's okay to talk to your husband, your wife, anybody, because if you're watching this and you need help, you're not a bad person. You're just sick, and you need to go to the hospital of some sort. We don't feel like a hospital, but there's doctors and nurses that are going to take you through the hard part, and then we're going to teach you how to get better. This isn't a drug or an alcohol problem, it's mental health. And there's something going on inside of people that makes them overuse substances and it's just the wrong medicine. We just need to figure out how to get some peace and serenity in life, and then you don't have to do it anymore, and you can have a good life. Sitting at home with a drink in your hand or a pill in your hand or a pipe in your hand, that's not the way we're supposed to live life. We're supposed to be out enjoying it, and that's what we want to do, is help people find that again.
And all they have to do is give y'all a call, and you can walk them through the steps that they need to do next.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. When we come back from the break, I'm gonna ask you what somebody can do today if they're, you know, battling an addiction, if there's a loved one that they're worried about, what they can do today, right now, to maybe save their lives. So we'll be right back after the break. And we are back with Sober Recovery, and we just have a little bit of time left, guys. But if someone is, right now, they're worried, they think that they may have a problem, or they have a loved one or a child or someone who they feel is in trouble, what can they do today? And I know you always say,
Starts with the phone call. Pick up the phone, give us a call. Somebody will answer, and they'll walk you through it or see what's going on. And
what if they're not sure if they have a problem? What if they think they just might?
I was just
but
about to
they're not
say,
certain?
you know, it's really confusing,
Yeah.
but there's questions that you can ask somebody that has this kind of experience, and they'll go, yeah, you might want to bring that person in. You know what I mean?
And you can direct message any of us on Facebook too.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
you want to keep it under the radar and just have a conversation, then you can do
people
that.
come
also.
out and do tours all the time, and if they do, there's a lot of therapists and counselors walking around, and they are more than happy. They sit down and spend a few minutes at any.
Kind
I
of
mean,
the
it's-
rule of thumb, though, is if you think somebody has a problem,
Yeah.
they have a problem.
Yeah, they do.
You know, it's not, and that's kind of 100%. They might not know they have a problem. I didn't know I had a problem.
But there's stuff
I thought
that you-
everything was fine.
But there's stuff you don't know as a parent, and they're going to laugh when I say this, and the mother goes, well, the first thing that started happening was all my aluminum foil was gone. And you turn around and go, bring him in.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. The signs are there.
And my
instead of
jewelry.
listening.
Right,
And my
yeah.
Jewelry's gone.
All right. Well, guys,
Sure.
thank you again for being here. And all of the information is on your screen. If you would like to get in contact with Soba Texas, you can call them 866-948-9014, or you can go to sobatexas.com, or as they said, you can go to Facebook and direct message any of the gentlemen sitting here today. Have a great day, everyone. We will see you tomorrow.
No one is perfect. We all have our inner struggles. It may be alcohol, drug, or any type of addiction. Soba Recovery Center is here to offer free help. You can get the help and free information by calling right now from the privacy of your own home. Don't let alcohol, drug, or any addiction ruin your life. If you or a loved one have alcohol, drug, or any addiction, get help by calling right now. Soba Recovery Center. Most private insurance accepted.